Hey guys, this is the Figures of Speech video for Act 2. Before you proceed with the video, make sure you have the class materials from today, Wednesday the 29th. Make sure you have answered the 17 questions using the word bank provided. And once you have done that, then you can come back to this video so that you can get the answers, because you need to see how well you do as kind of a pretest for the test that opens up on Thursday that's due on Friday. So let's begin. Questions number 1 through 5. If you answered light imagery for any of those questions, stop the video, go back and find something else. Light imagery is certainly present with 1 through 5. In fact, that's the answer to number 6. All of the comparisons showing Juliet to be light make up what is called light imagery, but I was looking for a different figure of speech for 1 through 5. So number 1, when Romeo calls Juliet the fair sun, he's using a metaphor. When he calls her a maid of the moon, he's also using a metaphor. A bright angel, that's a metaphor. When he says the brightness of her cheek would dim the stars as daylight doth a lamp, he is using a simile. So the word as was in bold print to draw your attention to a comparison using like or as, which is a simile. Number 5, when he says Juliet's eyes could take the place of the stars if the stars were away on business, he is using both a metaphor comparing Juliet's eyes to the stars and personification by saying that the stars have some sort of business that they must leave the sky to attend to. Having business, having errands is something that humans do, not stars. So that's personification. Number 6, we've already answered. Number 7, when Romeo calls love the guide who led him to Juliet's window, he's using personification. When Juliet calls parting sweet sorrow, she is using both alliteration, the repetition of the S sound, sweet sorrow, and she is using an oxymoron because sorrow is rarely sweet. But somehow this contradiction is true because the sweetness comes in the reunion that will happen once the couple is brought back together. Number 9, when Juliet refers to the mythical girl Echo to help her explain how much she wants to shout Romeo's name, she is using an allusion, specifically a mythical allusion. In scene 2, lines 159 through 164, Juliet says, and this is the allusion to Echo, I want you to explain it. Here's what she says: "Oh, for a falconer's voice to lure this tassel gentle back again. Bondage is hoarse and may not speak aloud, else I would tear the cave where Echo lies and make her airy tongue more hoarse than mine, with the repetition of my Romeo." So what is Juliet saying here? So she can't be loud for fear of waking people up. Remember, she says this during the balcony scene. The balcony scene takes place late at night after the party. So if she's loud calling Romeo back to her, people will wake up and that'll be bad news for Romeo. So she can't be loud, but if she could shout Romeo's name, she would shout his name so many times and so loudly that the mythical girl Echo would grow hoarse, echoing back Romeo's name. So that's the explanation there of the allusion. Number 11, when Juliet hopes this bud of love may prove a beauteous flower, she's using a metaphor to help her explain her new love and how she wishes it to mature. So a bud would be a brand new flower. That bud matures and opens up into a beautiful flower. And that's what she's hoping will happen with her love with Romeo. It's brand new, it's immature, but she's wanting it to prove or grow into a beautiful flower, something that is mature. Number 12, when Juliet speaks her feelings, thinking she is alone, that speech is called a soliloquy. And remember, she does this at the very beginning of the balcony scene. Romeo's lurking around in the darkness. She does not know he is there. When he does pop out, it frightens her. So look for her to be a little startled there in the balcony scene. Number 13, when Juliet says she's afraid her and Romeo's love is going to be gone quickly like the lightning, Shakespeare's using a simile. Number 14, these words were in italics: baptized, saint, soul. Romeo is resurrecting the religious imagery of Act 1. If you remember, that sonnet that we looked at in Act 1 uses religious words because love was being compared to a religious experience. So Romeo is renewing that idea of love being like a religious experience when he renews these religious words. Number 15, Romeo's lines: how silver sweet sound lovers' tongues by night, like softest music to attending ears. That's using both alliteration and simile. Number 16, when Friar Lawrence calls the earth a mother and nature earth's children, he is using both personification and metaphor. So he's calling earth a mother and he's calling nature earth's children. So he's making a comparison there, and his comparison is personifying the two things. And guys, this is the first scene where we meet Friar Lawrence. This is his opening soliloquy when he is gathering herbs into his basket. So the friar does a lot of experiments with herbs. He makes a lot of medicines, a lot of potions with herbs from his garden. And so he actually is picking herbs and putting them into a basket. And while he's doing so, he's talking about different things. And one thing that he's doing is making us realize a paradox. So this is number 17. When Friar Lawrence says the earth is both a tomb and a womb, he is using a metaphor because he's calling earth a tomb and then he's calling earth a womb. But in that metaphor, there is a paradox. Explain how his contradictory statement is both true in nature and for mankind. So in nature, it's easy to understand. Plants grow from the earth. So there's the idea that earth is a womb. And when the plants die, they return to the earth. So there's the idea that earth is a tomb. Now for humankind, the earth produces plants and herbs that can bring someone back to life if they are sick. So you guys know that plants and herbs, things in nature, are used in medicines. So medicine nature can be restorative. It can restore someone to good health, but it can also kill you. If you eat the wrong mushroom or if you eat the wrong herb, it can be toxic and it can cause your death. In other words, earth can be your tomb. So it can save you, it can be your womb, it can give life, but then it also can kill you. And two, think about this, herbs in certain quantities. Small quantity could be restorative, large quantity could be your death. So the friar is bringing up this contradiction as he is picking herbs. And just to foreshadow a little bit, herbs do play a role in our play. So look for that as we continue. Thanks, everybody. That's all for Figures of Speech for Act 2.